What is up, Combination? Welcome into NBA DFS Live for Wednesday, March 11th. I'm your host, Ben Hausler, joined by Justin Bales. Bales, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't know, man. I'm just gonna bunker down over here, I guess, because I don't even know. It seems to me like I'm not a doctor or whatever. I don't really want to talk about this, but I don't know. It seems to me that coronavirus is not that bad unless you're really old. But the problem would be like you unknowingly having it and then giving it to someone that's old. And my cousin is a really good wrestler. He won the state title for his weight class last year. He's wrestling for a state title again this year, this weekend, and I can't even go because our governor banned like fans from going unless you're like the parents of the wrestlers. So I guess I'm just gonna bunker down at my house because I can't even go like watch my cousin like wrestle anymore. So I mean, I don't need an excuse to not leave my house. Like I don't leave my house anyways. So this is like the perfect scenario for me because I just don't even have to leave.
That's uh that's how I feel. I hate leaving my house too.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, I do leave on Sunday for Vegas.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. MGM just closed all their buffets, so we can't eat at any buffet there. Which Jason's going with us, and usually when it's like 8 people that's going, so I'll probably be hanging out a lot with Jason, and him and his girlfriend are both vegan, so not like we really were going to eat at them anyway, but it takes away the option. I don't know. It's a tough situation because I do think I'm not a doctor on it. I just know like the basics of it, and it's just obviously super dangerous to old people, and like everyone pretends like it's not that big of a deal, but like there's old people in my life that I would not want to die from this. Like that seems so obvious, and taking the precautionary measures to not have it spread throughout the entire United States just seems so clear cut to me, whereas everyone else is like, no, who cares? And I'm like, anyone that legitimately has a chance to die from it cares. What do you mean? Like, you know
Yeah,
what
bro,
I
it's getting
it,
pretty crazy out here. But
uh,
I don't know. I don't leave my house anyways. I'm good.
I'm I'm going to I actually have a trip planned in May. I'm going to Paris with my girlfriend, and
Oh yeah.
dude, Paris just shut down like all large group activities and stuff. So I don't know. It's a tough situation at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what the time frame for this is gonna be, but all right. I okay, so I'm gonna ask you if you guys are gonna ask questions today, we are asking that you please ask them to us in YouTube chat. So we're trying to grow our YouTube channel back up after the DFS one. I still don't really know like what the story with that was or why it got really taken down after all that because we weren't doing anything wrong. But now, obviously, we have the new one. That's the Karma Media Network. So, if you're going to ask me a question about tonight's slate, please hop over to the YouTube chat and ask it there. I need to get back on track last night. So, I won every day of the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday did really well. Monday was kind of whatever because it was a 3 game slate. I didn't really play much. And we had that disaster with like the Bucks starting lineup. And then last night, I just did not have a good night whatsoever. So I need to get back on track tonight. We only have 6 games, nothing crazy. As far as injuries go, I mean, really, this isn't a normal slate with injuries. Like, there's really not that much we're monitoring. We're monitoring the Heat because Butler, Nunn, and Harrow are all questionable. So really, how I'm playing that is if all 3 of those guys play, I'm just not super interested in the game. It's the lowest over under. The Heat are favored by 10. It's just not a great game. So I'm probably going to avoid it if they're all in. If like one of them plays and the other 2 are out, I would be interested in the one that plays. And then like if Butler's out, I would be interested in Bam because his numbers are pretty good with Butler off the floor. And then if like all 3 are out, Dragic's the big winner. If you take all those guys off the floor, Dragic's at a 28% usage rate, over 1.2 points per minute. So I'd be interested in him. Duncan Robinson would see some more shots. Derrick Jones Jr. is over a point per minute with those guys off the floor. So that's one situation we'll have to monitor. Embiid, we're not sure if he's playing or not. We know that Simmons is out. So if Embiid's in, I mean, 36% usage rate, 1.6 points per minute with Simmons off the floor. The problem is he's been out for so long. Like, I'm going to assume that he wouldn't be playing his full complement of minutes. So we'll need some news on that. And then the Mavericks. So we might get some news on the Mavericks on this stream or right after the stream because they've seemed to do injury updates fairly early in the day recently. But how I'm playing this is Porzingis has sat out the last 4 back-to-backs, so I'm going to assume that Porzingis is out. Cauley-Stein was out last night with an illness. I'm going to assume that he is also out. And then I'm assuming that Curry and Brunson are both out as well. So what that would do is I would be interested in Luka, who if you take all those guys off, Luka's at a 39% usage rate, 1.7 points per minute. Like we obviously would want to play Luka. If Cauley-Stein and Porzingis are out, I think Boban will see some minutes, so you could use him. But Kleber's the guy that's going to play a lot of minutes that you would want to play there. But then we have this issue where Luka, I think, really like almost didn't play last night. Obviously, it didn't affect him on the court because he had a really good game. But if there's like a chance that he doesn't play, then things could get really crazy. So, if that were to happen, I think like Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, like those guys I'd be interested in. Obviously Kleber still. And then Barea, like he just hasn't been playing many minutes, but his numbers, really, really, really small sample size with all those guys off the floor. But I mean his numbers are the best. So we would just have to wait and see. But I'm gonna assume Luka is gonna play and then Porzingis is gonna be out and Cauley-Stein's gonna be out. So it's really gonna be him and maybe like Kleber and Boban for me. We'll go ahead and get into the positions now. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw those our way. And Bales, I'll let you start out at point guard here.
All right. I mean, if Porzingis is out and Luka's in, like you have to play Luka. Outside of that, Trey Young is 10-4 against the Knicks. I have absolutely no problems going there. De'Aaron Fox is slightly under 8K, which is shocking, especially for a matchup against New Orleans. I really like him, and I feel like Trey Young, and I guess not Young because most people probably just pay up for Luka, but on FanDuel where Young's significantly cheaper, I feel like he'll probably get the most ownership. Luka will get some. So you can probably get De'Aaron Fox a little bit under-owned compared to what he should be. Outside of that, you have guys like Mike Conley's only 5'5". Somehow Terry Rozier has just gone on an unbelievable run. Just a massive game the other night. And I mean, he's still only 7K. I don't really think that I want to pay that against Miami, but with only 6 games, I do think that you can go there. Bruce Brown's questionable tonight. He's point guard eligible on DraftKings. If he's starting and playing full minutes, I feel like he's good enough to actually use in cash games. At only 5,200 is just way too cheap. And then you always have the two guys from New Orleans, Lonzo and Drew Holiday, have both been playing extremely well together. I have no problems going with them against Sacramento. That's probably about it. If you want to take a shot on like someone super cheap, Monte Morris comes with upside. He's probably going to play 20 to 25 minutes. He's under 4K, so I don't really have any issues there, but that's probably about where I would go. I think that honestly, it's most likely going to be pay up for one of Doncic, Fox, Young, mainly Doncic, assuming that he plays tonight, though.
Yeah, so I agree. I mean, it's really Luka and Trey at the top. I'm just gonna play that per usual with Luka in cash. You can use Trey Young in tournaments. Fox, I agree. Like Fox is really cheap on FanDuel, so I'm cool with him there. Um, DK, like I hate playing Fox when like other people play him. You know, like he's just not that type of guy that routinely smashes. Like his floor is still kind of low for his price. So I don't really see how I could play Fox over Lonzo if Fox is going to have higher ownership. But I mean, I like both of them. That's obviously the best game, in my opinion. I mean, I think you have the New Orleans Sacramento game and then the Atlanta New York game. I think are both really interesting. But I agree with that. For tournaments, Conley, I think, is fine in tournaments. And then one of my favorite tournament plays on this slate is Alfred Payton. The Knicks, I don't know if you were watching this last night. So the Knicks came out, they went down 9-0 like instantly, and then they just weren't playing very good. So they literally just benched all the starters. So people will look at the box score and they'll see Alfred Payton. He had like 13 DraftKings points last night. They're like, oh, you know, it's whatever. It's Alfred Payton. But he literally got benched for like a lot. Like they didn't come back in. I don't even know if he came back in this first half. I would have to look. Randall, I know, came back in, but it was like super late in the second quarter. So they literally just got benched forever. But I mean, this matchup against Atlanta is one of my favorite to attack. And I mean, overall, he's been pretty good recently outside of last game when he got benched. So I do like him in tournaments. Shooting guard. So shooting guard's weird to me. This is how I'm playing shooting guard today. I don't really have any of these plays separated that far from each other. So I just want to take whoever is going to be chalk and not play those guys because like I don't really have any of these guys like super far away from each other. Like I think Mitchell is fine in all formats. I think Drew Holiday's fine in all formats, but like if Mitchell was going to be significantly higher owned than Holiday, I would just play Holiday because I don't really think there's a big difference there. Bogdanovich has been playing good recently, but does he deserve to be chalk on like a 6 game slate? Like I know he's been playing decent and his price is fine, but I just don't see why he would be chalk. Rozier is eligible at shooting guard on DK, and then the Miami news I think could sway things because like if Butler was in and the other two were out, I would maybe be interested in him. If Butler was out, I would be interested in some of those other guys that I mentioned. I think Kevin Herter's fine at his price, but really I'm just gonna probably try and find a low owned guy at shooting guard because I don't really have any of these guys separated from the pack right now.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I would add in Josh Richardson.
What do you know what his minutes are gonna be like? That was the one concern I had with him. I just didn't know like if he was gonna play full minutes.
I'm seeing he's projected for like 30, 35, but if I see something different, then
Yeah, I
I'll
guess we would
I'll
just
take
have
him
to
out.
wait. I guess like if they were gonna limit his minutes, they would come out and say so.
I think I pretty much agree with you, except for I do think that Bogdanovich has been playing well enough to I wouldn't have any issues using him as chalk against New Orleans. Um, and then you can pivot Buddy Hield in tournaments if you want, but kind of sucks that Hield's playing 25 minutes a night now and not coming in at the end of the game when they need a score and whatnot.
Frosty said your beard makes you immune to coronavirus, so I
I
think
mean,
you don't even have to worry about it, I guess.
I hope that's true.
Small forward again, kind of like a watered down position today with only 6 games. I think if Porzingis is out, I don't mind Dorian Finney-Smith at his price. Gallinari, I think, might end up being the chalk by the time we get to lock because
That's what
yeah, he's under 6K. He does not have a big ceiling whatsoever. Like he is like never going to get you more than like 38 or 40, and that's like on a good day. But he's also rarely going to get you like less than 25. Like he's just really consistent, and he's under 6K. So I wouldn't be mind just plugging him into like a cash game build. I do like Ingram in tournaments. I don't mind Harrison Barnes on the opposite side of that game in tournaments. And then you have like Bojan Bogdanovic, Kevin Herter, who I mentioned at shooting guard, and then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as well. I think you could use any of those guys in GPPs, but for cash, it's probably just Gallinari. And then I like Finney-Smith and Ingram as well.
I have no problems with that. If Gallinari is going to be super chalk, though,
In tournaments, I'd fade him, man. He's
well,
just not going to get you like a lot of points.
I don't think it's that bad of an idea to go Harrison Barnes in cash, honestly.
Yeah.
Barnes, he's not like the sexy play that everyone loves, but he's been super consistent, and he has essentially the same ceiling as Gallinari.
Yeah,
They're
like,
not
has
quite
he
as
even
high, but
went
pretty
like
close.
just look at I don't like the game log watch, but just look at Gallinari's game log, man. Like he's just never going to get you a massive amount of points. The one night, I don't remember what game it was, but I remember I played him in cash. He had like 24 at the end of the first quarter and ended with like 31. Like ended the
That
game
sounds
with
like
31.
yeah,
Like it's unbelievable. Like he
that's what he
literally has
does.
not got to 40 one time in his entire game. Like he got to 38 once against Detroit, 37 once against New Orleans. But yeah, it's
And I
ridiculous.
mean, he's playing Utah tonight, so like not an easy matchup. Like Barnes gets New Orleans at least.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, 5,200 for Bruce Brown, assuming he plays 30 plus. I'll take that in cash. I don't mind that. But I'll also take that in tournaments. Like it wouldn't bother me whatsoever. I mean, besides that, I think you outlined it pretty well. Brandon Ingram always comes with upside, but it seems like Drew and Lonzo have kind of taken over the team. And when they're doing extremely well, it seems like Ingram and Zion have kind of taken a back seat a little bit. Not that they aren't playing well and don't come with a ceiling, but basically Ingram in tournaments tonight.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot going on that Pelicans team right now, but dude, they're quietly like set up for the future. Like David Griffin is literally a wizard,
Oh
with
yeah,
what he was
they're
able to do.
good.
But yeah, they should be really excited about the future. Power forward, Thon Maker's gonna be chalk because Henson's out, and he's really cheap. So I don't mind that in all formats. Like he's cheap enough that I would play him even if he's chalk. I like Christian Wood as well, even though he's over 8K. Like that kind of takes the cash appeal away from him for me, but I still like him just as well in tournaments. Zion's right there. I was never one of those guys that said Zion was going to be a bust, but he's definitely better than I expected him to be right off the bat. I mean, he like has not even missed a beat, man. He's been really, really good. So I don't have any issues buying him under 8K. Randall, I think, is the interesting one for GPPs because he was kind of chalky last night, did not have a good game, which plays into that he got benched instantly in that game. And then they let him back in. So I would have no issues going right back to Randall against Atlanta. It's the perfect matchup for him. And you know you're going to catch some of that recency bias with his ownership. And then Maxi Kleber, like Thon Maker and Kleber should just take up your power forward and center spots, in my opinion, on DraftKings. So that's just kind of how I'm playing that.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with that. The thing about Zion, if you look, I mean, obviously we don't just watch game logs, but if you look at his game logs, he's not really a double threat. I mean, he is, but not on a consistent basis like some of the other bigs. It's just kind of the way he plays. He can't really bang down low because he's too short pretty much. But the reason he was doing so well is because his usage rating on a consistent basis, it was like 36, 36, 30, 30, 36. Just for a while. I don't need to go through all of them. But as Drew Holiday started going nuts recently and Lonzo's been playing with the ball more in his hands, Zion in his last 3 games, 24, 17, 25. And his fantasy points have suffered for it because obviously he's just not playing with the ball in his hands. So again, with the way the guards are playing, I feel like Zion is more of a tournament play for me, whereas you take someone like Christian Wood. I would rather play chalk Christian Wood over Zion tonight for 300 more, which, I mean, some people might not like that, but I think that makes a lot more sense. And then I agree about Thon Maker. Like, you just kind of have to play him. Another cheap option is Bobby Portis. He's only 4,200. He's played 27 plus in 3 of his last 4. When he plays, he does extremely well. Like, he's done it his entire career. And he gets the perfect matchup against Atlanta. I know the issue with the guys getting benched in their last game, but he played, 27 and 30 in, and then he only played 19 in the game in between those. So I feel like Maker could get around 25 minutes tonight. And I would have no problem playing him in tournaments for that.
Yeah, I cannot play Portis. Like, I just feel like that's chasing like last night, but he has been playing well, but I understand it. Can you stack the 4 Pelicans in GPP or is that too much? I don't think it's too much, but you would have to just completely game stack if you were gonna do that. Like you were gonna have to throw, like 3 kings coming back the other way if you were gonna do that. Um, yeah, I get what you're saying with Zion, but I like look at his game. Like 14 of his last 15, he scored 20 real points or more. The
Yeah, no,
outlier
I
being
really like
17.
him.
But yeah,
It's
that's just
just
crazy. Like for someone like his age, like that's pretty
the
crazy.
the odd thing about him is that he doesn't come with too much of a ceiling though, which is
Yeah, we really haven't seen like
weird.
a big game from him. Like he topped out at 50. Um, had 49 against Minnesota. But yeah, he hasn't had like a monster game. So like I think Randall and Zion's ceilings are relatively the same at this moment in time. And just like no one's gonna play Randall because he scored 25 DraftKings points last night and he was chalk. Like just nobody's gonna play Randall. So I would play Randall. Like I'm probably like my main tournament team today is just gonna be Alfred Payton and Randall, most likely. So I may be biased. Center will finish up. Like I said, Maker and Kleber are both eligible here. Boban, if Willie Cauley-Stein's out, I like as well. Jokic has not been playing well the last couple games, but definitely like him in tournaments. Would not play him in cash over Luka if Porzingis is out. Bam, really good matchup for Bam. That's the one spot in this game I want to go to. especially if Butler's out. But if everyone's in, I still would be comfortable with Bam in tournaments just because Charlotte's so bad against big men. And then another news, I didn't mention this, but right before we got on the stream, we got news that Rudy Gobert was questionable with an illness. If he's out, Tony Bradley is a lock for me, and I would be playing Tony Bradley, Thon Maker, Maxi Kleber, and potentially Boban, because I'm pretty sure Thon has power forward and Kleber has power forward. So
Yeah,
you
they
could
do.
just oh my god, this could be the greatest slate of all time. You could
Four
be able
center
to put
slate.
Bradley and Boban at double center, and then Thon Maker and Kleber at power forward and forward. This could be, and then you could probably double up Luca and Trey at the guards. This could maybe be the greatest slate of all time for like a 6 gamer. Like, just with that instant, if news breaks right, I literally just built the greatest lineup of all time. Boban, Tony Bradley, Kleber, Thon Maker, Trey Young, and Luca. Like, you literally can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. It's tough to not do that. I'll throw in another cheap guy is Nicolo Melli. He's actually playing decent minutes, and he's scoring well. And I mean, in like 20 to 25 minutes, he's already flashed that he can drop 30 plus fantasy points. Matchup against Sacktown's good. He's less than 4K. He's only 3,700. So if you want to just get kind of weird, because there is only 6 games, Nicolo Melli makes a lot of sense there. Outside of
Okay,
that,
wait. I just plugged the. Oh wait. Finish
oh,
and then I'll say.
I was just gonna say, outside of that, you pretty much nailed it. Bam gets the matchup. I'll just add Steven Adams. I think you can use for 5,600, but that's more GPPs.
All right. I mean, if you guys are watching this and news breaks right, I mean, you literally just have the nuts. Look at this. So if you plug those 4 cheap guys in, you put Luca and Trey in, you have a shooting guard and a small forward left to fill. You have 7,350 per position.
You can just throw in
You
Drew
could throw in,
Holiday.
yeah, you could put in Drew. You could put in really anybody that you want. Yeah, this is. I'm actually kind of excited for this slate. So hopefully Gobert misses and Willie Cauley signs out, so I can do this because I will literally just play this lineup in every contest. But all right, thank you guys for watching. I don't know how many games are tomorrow. I don't think it's a small amount though because there was a small amount on Monday, so I think tomorrow's a normal day. So most likely be back for a stream tomorrow. And if you need anything else, we'll be in Discord on Twitter. Be sure to check out Bales March Madness package up on the site. Our content package has been doing really well. You can pick that up for $10 a month. And then obviously, I believe the MLB season pass is up to get on our site as well. MVP, which I've kind of went over MVP before, but I mean, Dave is so good at NASCAR. Like, you can just pay off your MVP membership by playing NASCAR with Dave, and then plus you get basketball, hockey, golf, and then baseball as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.